Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring. Hopefully you guys are doing very well tonight. I know I am mad late. I had a last minute client, so I was like, all right, I can only be at one place at one time, so one thing at a time. So come on in and let's do a little bit of math. So what we're going to do today is what I like to call a GED sampler. So just a little combination. We've got 8 problems all together, and we're just going to look at how to look at these problems, how to solve it if I was going to take the test. So maybe some tricks, maybe some tips on how to get it done at a quicker pace, but at the same time, accuracy as well. So as you guys are coming on in, go ahead and start on tapping. So we'll see what is going to happen today. Thank you for coming in. Hey, Maggie. Hey, Danielle. Is that B-Dub? B-Dub. Welcome on in. Is that Jayla? All right, everyone's coming in and coming out. They're probably like, yes, we're going to do stuff. Wait, it's math. It's like, no, I do not want to do math. Yes, you do. You know you do. Plus, we come for the comic relief. So, yeah, interesting day, but you know. Yeah, I know. I was with a client. It was weird that I couldn't chime over, but I am here. Thanks for your concern, Jess. Yeah, I was getting cancellations left and right. It was like, all right, I don't know what's going on. And there are some people that had some ASVAB exams. I'm kind of wondering how they did. Hopefully they did well. All right. Okay, so go ahead and keep on tapping. I'm going to get started when we hit 1K. So for those that are new to this channel, this is a place where we're going to do math. We're going to take it step by step. We're going to treat it very calmly, completely the opposite of what you used to see when you were in the classroom. So we are going to probably do a little bit of Algebra 1, a little bit of Algebra 2, some geometry, just a nice little mixture. And what the purpose is to help people to calm down and just know that, yes, they can do math. So as people are coming in, this is a safe space. Yes, there's going to be a couple trolls popping in, popping out, I guess because I'm just so popular. Yeah, no, because they have nothing better to do. But for the most part, it just seems like we just need to see how calm we can do this. Because when you were a student, you probably were afraid to just step up and maybe even advocate for yourself or ask questions. Because, my generation, if you asked a question, it was always like, we want more recess. Don't you put your hand up, type of thing. All right. So the very first question. Let's see if I can put this all on here. Wow. Phone stand's acting kind of crazy. Okay. So what is the y-intercept of the line with the slope of 2 that passes through point 1, 2? So we need, when they say, the y-intercept of the line. So they're giving us some information. One, they're saying what the slope is, and what we're looking for is the y-intercept. But they're also giving us a point. So we can attack this one of 2 ways. So one of the ways we can do is, let's try to plug in, and we can use that y equals mx plus b. Okay, that's the equation of the line. For those that can't remember, this is what's called a slope-intercept form. The reason why it's called slope-intercept, the key thing is the slope and the y-intercept. I know, it's not that much. It's not that much. But they're giving us x and y. Now the X and Y part is basically this point that they're sharing with us. So this, the first point is going to be our X, and the second coordinate is going to be our Y. Okay, think of the alphabet, X, Y, Z. So X always comes before Y. So if I were to plug all this lovely stuff in, I'm going to get a 2 for my Y. And you're probably like, where's the 2 coming from? Right from the point, equals my slope, because slope is represented by M, and they said the slope is 2. The X is the 1, which is coming from the point. And then we bring down our plus B. Okay, so we can solve it this way to find the y-intercept, and that's what we're looking for. So I like to do this with word problems. I go straight to the question. What am I looking for? I just want to know right away. So this one's saying we want the y-intercept. So basically we want the B. So if we can solve this equation for B, we'll get our answer. So now, 2 times 1, that gives me 2. So that means we have 2 equals 2 plus our B. So in order for me to get the B by itself, I need to get rid of this 2. I need to bring this 2 over to the other side. And the best way to do that is do the opposite. This is a positive 2. So the opposite of positive 2 is a negative 2. So you have 2 minus 2, that gives me 0, but I don't need the 0 because I still have the B on that side. So now we have, oh, thank you. Now we have our 2 minus 2, that will give me 0. We do need the 0 on this side because we don't have anything else that we can bring down. So right now that 0 as a placeholder is very vital. And on top of it, we already found what our y-intercept is going to be. And it's going to be C, 0. Okay. All right. Thank you for the roses. Appreciate it. And the gifts and everything. All right. Okay. Questions on that one? Miss Popular. Popular. You're gonna be popular. All right. Now, here we go with that. The next one. So when we take a look at these word problems, I know for one thing you're going to be like, ugh, I don't like word problems. But the first thing I always do is look for the question. And the question says, what is the number? All right, so that means I got to put some pieces of something together in order for me to figure out what the number is. So we're seeing 3 increased by the product of 4 and a number is equal to the same number decreased by 6. Okay, it looks like English, but you're probably like, no comprendo, you know, that's it, can't do it. Now, let's take this piece by piece. So first they say 3 increased by. So with the 3 increased by means what operation? Thank you for the handwriting. Yes. Okay, good. Nika saying plus, Kate saying plus. Okay, addition, good. Kai saying plus 3. Okay, we're adding, yes. So it's saying 3 increased by. So we're looking at 3 plus. Okay, so 3 increased by. The only time this will switch if it said more than. Okay, So 3 increased by what? It's increased by the product of 4 and a number. So let's say, I don't know, let's say that n is going to represent my number. Okay, so if n equals the number. Okay, so if n equals the number, how would I write the product of 4 and a number? How would I write that? Hey, Danny, how are you? Okay, so you can do 4xn. Get rid of the x, just put 4n. That could work. Product means multiplication. Yes, Michael. Good. 4n, good, Tone. Okay, thank you is blessing. 4n, yes, Neek. 4n, good. Jess, 4n. Danny, good. 4n, yes. So that means 3 plus 4n. Now we have is equal to. So is equal to is an equal sign. Okay, is equal to the total of, okay, to the same number decreased by 6. All right, so that's going to be the next part. The same number decreased by 6. How would I write that? Same number decreased by 6. Look at all these people in my brain. Okay, Nick saying n minus 6. Michael, n minus 6. Kate, n minus 6. Good. Jess, n minus 6. Kaya, n minus 6. Okay, Carlitos, n minus 6. Ty, n minus 6. Solo, n minus 6. Good. So we're using that same variable, but we're saying minus 6. Okay. So now they want us to find what is the number. So we have our equation. What could we do first? Because there's so many different ways we can start this. What could we do? Good, Sabrina. Good, Gracie. Eat it and like it. That's interesting. Good job. Okay. So Cookie, hey Cookie, you're saying subtracting the 3? All right, I'll take that. So if we subtract 3 on both sides, that means its like term is going to be that negative 6. So 3 minus 3, that cancels out. So what we have next is 4n is equal to n minus 9. Do we see why this is minus 9? Okay, good, Carlito, good. Yep, and that's exactly what we want to do. Nothing. Isolate that variable. Good. Okay, and it's true. Who said that? Someone said plug in the answers. I think that was Solo. Hold on, I want to give credit when credit's due. Okay. Yes, so Solo, that is one way that you can do it. Once you got all this set up, you can plug in your A, your B, your C, your D, and see which one is going to give you the same answer on both sides. So yes, that is definitely one way of doing it. Another way is actually come over here and solve for n. So now, if I subtract n on both sides, so what's left is 4n minus n. That gives me 3n. And these two n's will cancel out, but leaves me with the negative 9. So, since I'm running out of room, let's take it over here. Let me unzoom just a lot. So that means we have our 3n is equal to negative 9. Divide both sides by 3. And I think someone mentioned earlier that our n is going to equal to negative 3. Okay. So since our n is equal to negative 3, the n that we're looking for is going to be your answer choice A. Okay, make sure we get our signs. because since this was a -9 and we divided by a +3, a negative divided by a positive. Thank you, guys. All this celebration. A -9 divided by 3, a negative divided by a positive is a negative. Well, thank you. Thank you for the roses. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate it. Hey, Queen, how are you? You know, sometimes it scares me because I'll just be like, just sitting here talking, all of a sudden the thing is like talking to me. It's crazy. Yes. Okay. So we'll be that -3. All right. Okay. Questions on these. Now, when you do these word problems, break it down, especially when you have to translate it from verbal to algebraic. Make sure you take it step by step. Don't look at the whole entire problem. Okay? All right. Yes, thank you so much for the love, everyone. Thank you for all coming in. All right, let's do one more, and then I will do my little spiel. Okay, so which of the following? Let me make it a lot bigger. Okay, so which of the following graphs represent the solution set of the inequality -2 times x minus 6 is greater than 8? Okay, is everybody else in panic mode right now? It's okay. So, okay, so hidden name is saying the option is C. Okay. So we need to solve for the x. Yes. No. No. Sheesh. No, we're not doing that. Yeah, so we're going to solve for the x. Good. All right. So distributing first. One thing's missing, John. Take a look at your thing. One thing is missing. And it's kind of important. All right. So Grace is saying C. Sabrina is saying C. 1503 is saying D. Okay, X-Baller is saying B, Carlito is saying C. We need to distribute. Okay, so be careful with the distribution. All right, let me take it to the side over here. So we have -2 times the x minus 6 is greater than 8. So, I think it was for our eyes only set. Oh, it's okay, Jess. We got this. You're not gonna... I think it's because no one's really stopped and just worked it through step by step. So we want to get x by itself, but right now this -2 is being multiplied to this. There's another way of addressing this, but I'm going to show you that in a moment. So this will give us -2x, because a negative times a positive gives me a negative, and a -2 times a -6, negative times negative, will give me a positive, and 12. Then we just bring down our inequality. So now we need to isolate our variable. So we need to get rid of this 12. So we're going to do the opposite of addition, which is subtraction. So they're going to cancel out, leaving me with 0, but I don't need the 0 as a placeholder because I still have this -2x that just needs to come down. Now we have 8 minus 12. That gives you a -4. So if I have $8 and I want to buy something that costs $12, I'm short $4. So now we want to get our x by itself. So we need to divide by a -2. Let's see. Ooh. Okay. So, period. Why did you change the direction of the sign, period? Okay, Faithful F, why did you change the direction of the sign? Hey, Black, how are you? So you mean D? Yes, Manny. Switch the signs when you're dividing by a negative. Yes, that negative number. Excellent, because you divide by a negative. Love it. All right. Anytime that you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to change the direction of your inequality sign. Okay? Because here we're going to have our x. -4 divided by -2, that gives me a +2. But since right here we divided by a negative, we have to change that direction of the sign. Okay. Questions on that one? Okay. Prison taught you well? Awesome. Yep. I used to work in a school. Juvenile justice system, baby. We called it baby bookings. Worked there for 13 months, and I'm going to be truthful, that's when I really loved teaching. Teaching those young men and seeing some of them getting their GED. Trust me, that's when I learned how to teach. Yep. What the hell? No. Let's learn something new today. All right. Okay, so since x is going to be less than 2, there's no line underneath the less than, so it's not including the 2. So that's why it's going to be an open circle. All right, so right away, all of them, if you notice, well, if you slide over, all of them, if you notice, they all have open circles. But which one is telling me less than? So less than means I'm going to be shading to the left. Okay, C and D is going to be out because they're both shading to the right all the way to positive infinity. So now we need +2. This one's saying -2. This one's saying +2. They're both going to less than. But my answer is going to be the one with the +2. So it's going to be answer choice B. Yes. Okay, good job, X-Ball. Okay, X-Ball. I was the first to say B. I was the first to say B. It's okay, it's not a race. And still failing? No. Why do you want to say you're still failing? Okay, dude, when was the last time that you saw this? Yes, since you were a fetus. Give yourself some grace. Okay? Give yourself some grace. We're going to take things step by step. Okay? Show why the signs change? No. It's not because I don't, because if you plug it in, if you plug in any number, like if you just did not change the sign and it went to x is greater than -4, and you plugged in a number, let's say, I don't know, 0, right? If you plug a 0 in, is 0 greater than -4? Is that a true statement? No, it's not. 0 is not bigger than a negative number, okay? So that's the reason why you're flipping, because the ultimate thing when it comes to equations, you want to find what's going to make a true statement. Now, this could be solved another way. Let me rewrite and put it here. So we have -2, parenthesis, x minus 6, greater than 8. Since this -2 is being multiplied and there's no plus or minus anything, you can do the inverse of multiplication, which is division. So -2 divided by -2 will give you your 1. And what's left on the left-hand side will be your x minus 6 is greater than 8 divided by -2 will give you a -4. So now we want to get x by itself. So one thing I forgot, I still got to flip the inequality because look right here, I divided both sides by a -2. So it's really going to be x minus 6 less than negative 4. Now I can add 6 on both sides. They're going to cancel out. I don't need the 0. Then I have x is less than 2, which will give us the same answer that we got down here. So because you're doing multiplication and there isn't any plus or minus anything, you can divide both sides. Remember to flip the sign. So ignore this part. Okay, since you divided by negative 2, you're going to change the direction of inequality sign. And then you add both sides by 6. And then you have your x is less than 2. Okay, so that's just another way. Well, you have to be careful, Splash, because when you have your negative 2, don't forget your x. So you can't combine those because they're not like terms. Okay, so you have to bring down your x. Okay, there she goes. There it is. All right. That's the way you know? Awesome. Okay. All right. Not a problem. I know, it's so tempting. Like when you see something, you're like, oh, wait, I could do this. And it's always like, oh, I forgot a variable. Or, oh, I forgot a negative. It was about to work. It was going to rock everyone's world. All right. So for this one, okay, what is the solution set of the inequality? Negative 7x minus 4 is greater than or equal to x minus 28. Okay. Let me give you a little bit of time for you guys to process. Yes, Cole. When you divide or multiply by a negative number, that's when you change the direction of the inequality. Okay, good question. Okay, period thinks it's going to be A. I think algebra is the easiest. Then when you go from geometry to calculus and higher, it becomes harder. Yeah, that's when you start getting into the advanced math. But there's still a lot of algebra in all those. So if you are one of the chosen few that are not strong with your multiplication, that's going to make life harder. So you really have to get that multiplication table down. Okay. Yeah, no problem, Cole. Okay, X-Baller saying A twice. Pog saying A. Casey saying A. Sabrina saying A. Tu Bonita saying A. Okay. Dag saying 100. And she's just taking a look at it. Okay. Lorique, how are you, my dear? Okay, you're saying A. Pamela, welcome in, saying A. Swazi. Jay saying A. Special Tara saying A. And if I am saying your names incorrectly, please correct me. Because there's so much power in a name. So much power. To be used in your science classes. Oh, yeah. Yep. And especially if you're going to go into chemistry, yeah. Balancing those equations is always fun. Okay, Cookie saying D. Mercy saying D twice. All right. So let's take a look. All right. So we have our original equation. Let me slide this over and rewrite. So we have negative 7x minus 4 is greater than or equal to x minus 28. Our goal is to get our x's on one side of inequality and the constants on the other. So if we want, we could add 4 on both sides. So that means -4 and +4 will give me 0. And then we could, you see this x to the left of it is positive. This minus sign is actually going to the 28, not to the x. Okay, so anytime you need to figure out if it's positive or negative, always look to the left-hand side of that variable. So it doesn't have a minus sign here, so that means this is positive. So we have to do the opposite. And you can do your cancellation all in one row. So now you have -7 minus 1. When the signs are the same, you're adding them. So negative and a negative, this gives me a -8x. Bring down my inequality symbol, because even though we're going to get a -24 here, but we didn't multiply or divide by a negative number. That's why right now the inequality is going to stay the same. But here we go. Now we're trying to get x by itself, so we need to divide both sides by the -8. Oh, we're dividing by a negative number. So right away, that's when the inequality sign is going to change direction. So now, -8 divided by -8, that gives me a 1x, or just simply an x. And then -24 divided by -8, a negative divided by a negative will give me a positive. And it'll be a +3. Okay, so it will be x is less than or equal to 3, which is my answer choice A. Okay. Yep. There we go. Not a problem. Not a problem. Something that gives you a little ease, a little calm. Okay. So you came a little bit. So if you guys are just coming in and you're like, I don't know what's going on, I'm lost. Well, this is how you can be found. Yeah, I'm not Jesus or anything. That's just crazy. But if you go here, I usually put all of my replays of all my lives there. So everything since February 2nd is there. So all you have to type in either my name or this. And then I would love for you guys to do the following. You know, do that. Do a little bit of this. Make a comment. I usually comment back. Okay, go ahead and share it, and then turn in your notifications so you know when things are updated, because sometimes it takes me a while to download the videos off of here in order for me to upload them uncut and raw onto this channel. Okay, so just give me some time. Sometimes it takes a bit. Okay. Oh. If you divide or multiply with an equation. Okay, well, thank you, Lisa. Yeah, I don't know about that, Jess. I don't even want to put that in there. There's no competition. None. No, he's totally got that. All right, go ahead and just do a little bit of a mat tap. We're going to get ourselves ready for 4 more questions. And then we're going to be done for tonight. And then you can go back to surfing and looking at cats doing crazy stuff to human beings and giving us stank eye every time we're doing something. I know, that's my life thing. Or maybe even the latest and greatest that possibly you can share with me. Because sometimes I get lost in the sauce and lost in the lingo. Okay. Okay, why does it switch again? Because once we got down to, let me zoom in a bit. Once we got to like -8x is greater than or equal to -24, we had to divide both sides by -8. anytime you multiply or divide by a negative, the inequality sign has to change its direction. Okay. You just realized the 7 was negative? Yes. Okay. So you see where the negative 8's coming from. Okay, Mercy. All right. Okay, no problem. Perfect. All right. All right. So can we, there's 185 of us, 83, get back here. Get back here! Can we get it to a good 20? If we do like a mad tap and just get it to 20 so I can get started on the next one. That would be awesome. I appreciate you guys. 1, participating. 2, just being here. It's like 10:30 at night, you know? Well, my time, Eastern. But if you know of anyone that needs tutoring, okay, that is also another thing. So while you guys are tapping, here comes my little shameless plug. One of it is I do private and small group tutoring. So I know there are some people that are taking college algebra for the summer, and some people are taking their final exams either tomorrow or Thursday. If you have for Thursday, if you need some help with that, please reach out, okay? If you have some of your kids in trying to get ready to go back to school and that whole thing called summer math packet that's just been sitting in their book bag, and now they're like, oh God, I have to do this and I don't remember any of the math, just give me a call, okay? Or not even a call, but just send me a message. Go ahead, DM me. I also have self-paced courses for the GED, the ASVAB, the ACCUPLACER, and the T's. So if you just want the course so you can go through and get that reminder of all that basic algebra, you can do that. But if you take it like $50 more, that will cover the cost of 2 30-minute tutoring sessions. So that's just an option. Another thing, if you like the design of my book, okay, so we have like usually put our formulas here, put our steps down here, have a little bit of a mood tracker, okay, so as you can see, we can do some graphs on there. You can like copy and paste, literally old time copy and paste, maybe stuff from workbooks or worksheets, and all you're basically doing is it gives you room and space, and it also happens on the other side. Okay, so more of a traditional grid on one side and the dot graph on the other side. I like the dot ones because when it's time for me to do my graphs, I can plot points so much easier, and it seems like so much cleaner, but that's just me. So in addition to this notebook, it's not just a beautiful thing, it's also a reference or resource pages. So if you're not strong with your multiplication and you need help with factoring, you need help with simplifying radicals, I got you with this whole factor sheet. Now most factor sheets go to 1 to 100. Mine goes all the way to 200 because this book is basically designed for 7th grade up to adults. So anyone that's taking Algebra 1, Algebra 2, Geometry, Trig, and then you have like your whole thing, like the rules of integers, and then evenly some of the operations of terminology, like what words will go with what symbols, what operations. And then you have the order of operations, the US and also international. Then you have the properties of exponents. They have linear and quadratic, all the equations of the lines, just in case you forget. Then you have like your reference page for your volume, surface area, area of the sector, arc length. Then if you have a little more geometry with the area, perimeter, and circumference. And then also Pythagorean's theorem, we did that yesterday. And also a little bit with our SOHCAHTOA and its arcs. And then also a couple of the trig identities. And last but not least, the unit circle. Okay, so if you're going to be like in pre-calculus, maybe advanced algebra 2, you're going to have new friends right here. Oh, yes. Okay, so that is my ultimate math notebook. If you want to get your own, you can. You can either go here or you can go directly to my bookstore, which is here. Okay, it is on the A, because I can't say the word, but it is available on the A as well. But I only get like 50 cents per book when I do it that way. But if you want to get it quickly, the A will be your best way of doing that. Yep, trig as well, just a little bit of the trig identities. Okay. Yep, and I made this book, and the inspiration was my students that I had at the beginning of last year. They just kept giving me all these packets, and I'm like, okay, so what's the packet say? And they're like, I don't know. I'm like, well, you need to rewrite your stuff so you have a good idea of how to study. Because, ladies and gentlemen, you do not study math like this. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. No, it's literally, you're going to take a sheet of paper, you're going to copy down the original problem on that separate sheet of paper, you're going to take your notes, you're going to put it to the side, you're going to work out the problem on that blank sheet of paper, and when you're done, you're going to bring the notes in, and you're going to use it as an answer key. That's how you study math. You study through practice. And for me, I always said, because parents will always ask me, can you give my child more work to do? I'm like, baby, if they can't get the work that I'm currently giving them, why would I give them more? Do I want to continue the torture? No. Why don't I just need for your child to pay a little extra attention? I will go a little bit slower or ask more questions. I can do that. But I'm not going to just give a blank sheet of paper because you don't know what's going on. So who's going to help him when he gets or she gets stuck? Oh, that's just me. Okay. Okay, you can get it from her bookstore. Yep. I'll flash that up again. So if you want to screenshot it, you can. Let me zoom in. Okay, so you could either go here for the books, mostly directly, or you can go through here. Okay, one of the two. Let me see if I can put both. See if I can put both of them on the same shot, and then you can just screenshot it. All right, awesome. Hey Janice, how are you? Okay, nice. Does it come with notes inside? No, it doesn't, but I know what does. Audrey's notes. I got you covered. See, I'm like one of those slick back pimps back in the day. Like, oh, what you want? Blonde, blue hair, red hair. What you want? I got you. So with Audrey's notes, it's like a play on Cornell notes. So I basically have all of my notes that I've used since February the 5th, and I put them all in a book. So if you want my notes, you just want to like skip and just say, you know what, I don't want to write anything. I'd rather just get your notes and see if I can study stuff. Okay, you can. So with Audrey's notes, each of the section has a QR code. So if you scan the QR code, it will take you directly to the live that I did, and with each concept. So this was factoring GCF and trinomials, and this was back in April the 26th. So when you scan that, it will take you directly to the live, even though it's on my YT channel. It will take you directly to that live, and then you can follow along step by step what I'm doing. It's almost like tutoring in a package. So this one, I have book 4 is out. We're currently working inside of book 5. So the way, I think this will be done like probably like mid-September, maybe end of August. Because since now I'm only going to go live like once a day because I'm starting my fall schedule, because next week my Alaska kids go back. So I got to be ready. Yes, thank you. I know. I'm heard that I'm going to get dinged either way. So that's why I feel like everything's got to be in code. Like, Mission Impossible or some weird stuff. Yep. Thanks, Jess. Yep, and you can actually see me doing the problem. So you can use it for remediation. You can use it for advancement. If you have kids that are homeschool and you're just like, okay, we're starting to get into stuff that I don't know what it is. It's not like cohesive. It's just like mostly I tried to spread it out. So I'm not doing like the same concepts in each of the book. Like one book is just the same concept over and over again. No, I tried to split it up as best I can. Okay. All right. So let's get with the other side. All right. All right. What are the possible solutions to the quadratic equation x squared minus 5x equals 24? Ooh. Okay. Oh, thank you, Stargazer. I appreciate that. Or Maggie, I should call you. Thank you. Okay. So what are the possible solutions? How would I solve this? And I think I want to use I forgot what his name was. I don't know if it was period. I forgot who it was. That said plug it in. Okay? Remember, when you're taking these exams, trust and believe. If you want, you can plug in. And if you want to plug in and see, all right, if I plug in the -8 for the -8 squared, that's going to give me 64. If I plug in the -8 for this x, a negative times a negative, that will give me a positive. So you have 64, and then you have plus 40. Is that going to give you 24? Hopefully you guys are saying no. So if it doesn't work for one, it's not going to work for the other. Yes, I can show you exactly what to do. Okay, you can do what's called completing the square. You could basically subtract the 24 and try to do it with either the AC method or maybe the quadratic formula, which we all know. We like the quadratic formula, but sometimes it can be a little tedious. So there are options, okay? So if you ever get a problem like this and you're like, I can't remember the formula, plug it in. Plug it in. It's multiple choice, darlings. Multiple choice. Okay? Yeah, not the quadratic formula. I know, but I have to mention it. It's an option. There are some people out there that loves the quadratic formula. So I don't want to steal that love away from them. Who am I to break them up? No, I'm not a hussy. We want to keep that going. All right, so some people are telling me -3 and 8. Okay, so option C. This one you can factor. No quadratic formula needed. Yes, period. That's what I said. There's options. There's options. Okay, I do not want to break people up. Okay, you can factor this. Yes, sheesh. Notification. How are you, my dear? Yeah, plug it in, plug it in. Okay, so Kiko is saying B. All right, eat it and like it. I'm kind of wondering the inspiration of your name. I'm just curious, but I know curiosity is going to kill the cat. Yeah, just like 2 girls in a cup. Yeah, still scarred. And of course, one of my lovely students say, Miss Audrey, you got to see this. When a kid says Miss Audrey or whatever your name is, and they say, you got to see this, don't. You'll be scarred for life. Because there's always something that I'm like, I don't want anything incriminating. Please do not. It's a long story. I'm kind of scared, really scared. All right. So if we want to, I think the easiest will be for us to subtract the 24 and to see if we can factor it, which we can. So if I do this, I would get x squared minus 5x. And I'm going to subtract the 24 to make it equal 0. So notice they didn't tell me what type of method I need to do. They don't care. All they care about is, did you pick A, B, C, or D? That's all they care about, okay? So you're going to pick whatever process. Anytime I see an x squared, or if I see a squared, that's signals, bat signal, you know, the whole bat sign is boom, you're doing factoring. Every time I see my highest degree is to the second power, I'm doing factoring. So now my leading coefficient is a 1. That means I can split my x's. Every time I say this, it puts a little cringe. All right. So, negative 24. What two numbers multiplied together will give me a negative 24 and add together to give me a negative 5? That's always the hardest part, okay? So for the 24s, we gotta figure it out. There we go. Now, if you have my handy dandy notebook here, look at my 24s, okay? So for 24, we got 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, and 5 and 4 and 6. Notice 4 and 6 is in red. So that's telling me if I was breaking down radicals, that would be my perfect prime combination. But I know the 24 has to be negative. That means I need to subtract these factors. If I subtract them, which one will give me 5? That will be the 3 and the 8. All right? So it's either 8 is taking the negative or the 3 is taking the negative. So I'm going to put my 8 here. I'm going to put my 3 here. And which one has to be negative? So I have Kaya, I have a Pog, I have Casey. There's a couple other people earlier on. Period. Okay. Steve, how are you? I missed you. I haven't seen you for a couple of days. You okay? What's going on? Good, Deja. Good, Jess. Okay? So, Steve with the negative 7s. So, we got our negative 8 and the positive 3. Because a negative times a positive is a negative. And a negative plus a positive, especially if the negative has a higher number, will give me this negative 5. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, okay, negative 8, negative 3. No, because we're not done. We need to set each of those parentheses equal to 0. So we have x minus 8 is equal to 0. And we have x plus 3 is equal to 0. So if I need to solve, I need to do the inverse. So that's why this is going to be plus 8 on both sides. So my x is going to equal a positive 8. And once I see that, I'm looking at my answer choices and I'm saying, okay, the only one that gives me a positive 8 is C. Boom. That's my answer. You can finish it if you want. Have fun. But remember, this is a timed assessment. GED, ASVAB, ACCUPLACER. Okay, especially those you can't use a calculator. T's, they allow you to use a scientific calculator and not on your phone. You're going to have to lock your phone up. Okay, so if you're used to doing everything on your phone calculator, yeah, you're going to have a hard time, okay? But for our case, if I subtract my 3 on both sides, I will get my x is equal to negative 3. Okay? So that's how they got that one. Yes, definitely on the GED. Definitely on the GED. Okay, awesome. You gotta retake my GED test. Your math test. Okay. Do you need any assistance, Deja? If you do, go ahead and reach out. Do I do college level statistics? I do to an extent, but I'm starting to get better at it. So if you do need some assistance, let's see if we can sit down and work some stuff out. Big Al! Okay, so definitely message me. I even check my requests. Now, when you guys message me, don't just say hi. Tell me what else you need, because sometimes I'll be reading these at 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm half confused. And yes, I will text message people at 2 o'clock in the morning, my time, because it might be 11 or 10 o'clock at night, someone else's time. I know, I'm crazy like that. All right, you're so welcome. Okay, definitely. Yeah. Oh dear. Yeah, that's why I don't sleep. I know, because I'm always prepping. If I'm not prepping for my evening, because I was doing the evening course to help people with their GED, ASVAB, and just really teaching certain concepts. So I had to prep for that. I have to prep for this class. I have to prep for my tutoring sessions. I'm creating more books. I'm trying to create a workbook. I'm thinking of doing it as a series because I don't need anything to kill me right now. Because I'm already overloaded with stuff, but here we are. But these are the things I have to do so I can help the world, to help you to show the world your greatness. Because math should not be the reason why you're not awesome. Awesomer, if that's a word. It is today. Okay. More awesome. There we go. Okay. Okay. All right. So, the sum, if you can read that. Let's zoom in. Whew. The sum of 5 consecutive numbers is 370. What is the 4th number in the sequence? All right. Now, consecutive number, I might do another thing on this. But for right now, in order for you to, let me say this, from 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, consecutive, one after the other. Now, if I start at 1, in order for me to get to 2, I had to add 1. And if I start at 1, in order for me to get to 3, I have to add 2. And if I start at 1, in order for me to get to 4, what do I have to do? Think about the patterns. Hold on. Oh, the puzzle piece. I can never get it the first time. There we go. Swear I have to be like a ninja just to do some of these puzzle pieces. Okay, yes, so I'm seeing +3s with Jess, +3s with Heather, add 3 Deja, add 3 Pamela. Hello Pamela, welcome back. Add 3 with Casey. Good. Okay, so in order for me to get to that part, I have to add 3. Okay, same thing will happen if I did 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, as long as with consecutive integers, I have to basically add in that sequence. So here's how you solve this one. My first number, we don't know where we're going to start. Okay, so I'm going to call that x. In order for me to get to the next number, because they said the sum of, so I'm going to add In order for me to get to my second number, remember what we did when we started at 1? We added 1 to get to 2. You're doing the same thing. You're adding 1 to the previous number, which is x. So in order for me to get to the next one, I have to add plus 2. Remember, if I start at 1, in order for me to get to 3, I had to add 2. So that's my third number. My fourth number, I have to go x plus 3. Because if I started at 1, in order for me to get to 4, I had to add 3. So now we have our x plus 4 to get to the fifth number. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers, because they said the sum of 5 consecutive numbers. And they're saying that the sum of those numbers equals 370. Okay, let me unzoom just a bit. Okay, a lot. All right. Yes, good. I'm glad you did it the right way. So now, let's combine like terms. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 x's. So that gives us 5x. And then we're going to add 1 plus 2, that gives me 3. Plus 3, that gives me 6. 6 plus 4, that gives me 10. Okay, still with me? Okay, so all we did was add the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 x's. Then we add the 1, the 2, the 3, and the 4. And it's going to equal our 370. All right. So now, what do we need to do? Okay, so I saw 75s and now I'm seeing 74. So let's see. So next thing that we have to do is subtract 10. There you go, Jess. Good. Minus 10. Minus 10. Okay, good, Heather. Good, Big Al. There you go, Eli. There it is. All right. So what we're left with, yep, and then we're going to divide by 5. Good, Heather. So we have our 5x is equal to 360. Then we're going to divide both sides by 5. So how many 5s can go into 360? Well, how many 5s can go into 36 without going over? That would be 7. And that will give you 35. 36 minus 35 gives you a remainder of 1. Remainder, there we go. But if we bring this 0 down, that's going to be 10. How many 5s can go into 10? That will be 2. Okay, so that gives us our 72. Excellent, everyone. Good, Mercy. Good, period. Cole, Heather, good. Casey, good. Kaya, awesome. So the 72, that represents our x. That represents our first number. So if they're saying 5 consecutive numbers, and if our first number starts at 72, then the next 4 will be 73, 74, 75, and 76. Because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. But we're looking at, once you get all this, don't just get happy like, oh, it's 72. All right, let me do it. Oh, wait, 72 is not part of my list. Because you just got the first term or the first number. We are looking for the fourth number. So if we do this, 1, 2, 3, 4, our fourth number is going to be the 75. This is our first number, our second number, our third number, but we're looking for the fourth number. So the answer choice will be C. Okay. Fooled you a little bit? Yes. Oh, okay. Oh, nice. Thank you. Yep. And exactly you can do. Because since 72 is the first term, you can add 3, just like what period did, to get to your fourth number. Yes, you can. Okay? That's the one thing about math. Multiple ways of getting the same answer. That's why it always drives me nuts. And if there's teachers on here, which I know they are, embrace the fact that maybe a kid knows a different way, which you know it's not different, but for that young man or young woman, them, that will probably inspire them wanting to do more. Okay? Please don't kill that vibe. Let them do a little bit of self-discovery. If they're wrong, correct them. Don't let them like, all right, that's what you think your answer is. All right, keep going. No, correct that. We don't need the insanity of, oh, we'll wait until you get Miss Audrey when you're older. No, because I'll be like deranged by then. Probably being a Madonna wearing my underwear outside my clothing. Yeah, that's going to be fun. All right, so, all right, what is the next number in the sequence? I know, right? Okay, so I'm seeing a couple B's. A couple B's, yes. Seeing some 31s. All right. Okay, so I got an A. All right, so this is saying A. We got 30, 31, so we got a little battle. All right. Any other guesses? Okay, saying B, okay. Rocco's saying B. +9, okay. Is it +9 for all of them or +9 just for the last part? There you go. Thank you, Kaya. There we go. Now, to go from 1 to 7, it was a +6. To go from 7 to 14, it was a +7. To go from 14 to 22, we had a +8. So just like what Pog said, if we want to keep this party going, the next one should be +9. So that means you have your 22, which was the previous term, plus that 9. That will give you your 1, carry a 1, because that 9 plus 2 gives you 11, and 2 plus 1 gives you 3. So our answer will be B, 31. Okay, good. All right, so looking at patterns within patterns. All right, and for the last one for this lovely evening. Okay, the graph of which equation will pass through points 0, -3, and 5, 7. Ooh, this 4-point question, people. This is a 4-point question. The previous one that we just did, that's about like a 3. The sequence one, that's more, that could be a 3 or a 4, but since it was 5 consecutive numbers, that could be a 4. Anything with factoring, anything with graphing, slope, this 4-point questions. So if you can hit hard on those 4-point questions and do pretty decent on the basic math ones, you can easily pass the GED. Easily. Because I don't think a lot of people, if you skip the slope and all that, you're not going to pass. You got to at least score something on them. Okay? All right, so period is saying C. know everyone's probably like, how do I find slope? Okay, what was that formula again? Was it y1 minus y2x? So I can hear you guys like whispering to yourselves all the way over here. Okay. Legendary Diana is saying B. Okay, Kai is saying B. Hello, Julian. Welcome in. Okay, Cole saying y equals mx plus b. So which one's my equation, Cole? You got it. Isn't it funny, like we started off with the equation of the line and we're finishing off with the equation of the line? It's like the circle of life. Circle of life. All right, any more answers? Any more? Okay, let's take a look. So first, we need to figure out our slope. So we have 2 points, 0, -3, and 5, 7. So for your slope, always remember it's the change of y's over the change of x's. Okay, slope is naturally a fraction. So what I mean by change of y over change of x's, well, you can go with the traditional y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. But here's the problem. We read, if we're here in the States, we read from left to right. This works great if you read from right to left. So I'm going to write the word or. And for the or, you can have y sub 1 minus y sub 2. Because all you know, your y's are always in the numerator. Oops, sorry, that's supposed to be 1. Because I was thinking 2. Isn't it funny how your mind works? Like you're thinking of another number, you write it down, but you know that's not what you're supposed to be writing down? Yeah, that's what just happened. As long as your 2's and your 1's are lined up, it doesn't matter which one of these you use. Okay? So, this is how you label it. This is my x1 and my y1, because that's the coordinates of the first point that I see from left to right. So that means this will be my x sub 2 and my y sub 2. Now, we need to figure out our slope. So when we figure out our slope, if I want, I can say -3 minus 7 and 0 minus 5. So that means I have -10 over -5. And a negative divided by a negative will give me a +2. So my slope is a +2. After I find my slope, I am coming to my question. And I'm taking a look. And right away, I can get rid of D and I can get rid of A. So now, doing the process of elimination, you got it down to at least 2 choices. But this is when you have to notice they have the same slope, but different y-intercepts. Now, y-intercept, that's the same as saying you're making your x value 0, and then you have your y value. They gave us that. They gave us the y-intercept. So I don't have to plug it into y equals mx plus b to find my b. They gave it to me. They gave me my y-intercept, which is a -3. So the one with the -3 and the slope of 2, that's my answer, which is B. Okay, so it's going to be B. So first you had to find the slope, come in and see what your slope is exactly the same. 2s, so that means A and D was out. But then I looked and I noticed they have the y-intercept. Okay. Yeah, it's that simple. So always kind of take a look to see if they give you the y-intercept. So that's when your x value is equal to 0. And then you can just take it. Alrighty? Okay. But 7 is true too. What do you mean, Cole? So if I plug 0 in for the x, right? So if I use my point, if I plug the 0 for the x and that -3 for the y, 0 times anything is 0. So now I got 0 plus 7, which gives me 7. Can -3 equal 7? So if I plug, yeah, is it going to be true for the 5 and the 7? Yeah, so if I plug the 5 in for the x and the 7 is going to be the y, 5 times 2 gives me 10. 10 minus 3 gives me 7. So I get the answer of 7 on both sides of the equal sign. No? No what? Hey, Jimmy D. I haven't seen you in a bit. I'm seeing no. Is the no answering Cole's question or the no to me? You're welcome, Cole. What's the no for? All right. Oh, Ali, you came late. I even started late, too. Okay. So there is my hour and 15. Oh, Cole's question. Oh, okay. All right. Just making sure. Like, why are you yelling at me? I am just the messenger. I did not invent this. All right. So, again, continue to be awesome, you guys. I greatly appreciate all your support. So, I try to come on for like an hour and 15 minutes. So, again, give me probably later tonight or maybe early tomorrow morning, you can come here and you can get the replay of all my lives. So everything from February 2nd is completely here. Just type in this, or you can type in this. And all I would love for you guys to do is to do this, do this, do this, definitely do this, and turn that on, okay? So right now I am trying to get my schedule together, but when someone says I need help and it's 8 o'clock, I'm going to give it, okay? I'm just going to give it. But I'll try to shoot for Mondays, basically Mondays through Thursday. I'm looking at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Friday is going to be at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Obviously, that may change during the school year, depending, because lately I've been getting people that want those spots. If you're thinking about taking college algebra in the fall, and we all know the fall is basically August, go ahead, reach out to me. Just say, hey, Audrey, I'm about to take this class. Like, how available are you? So definitely keep me on the forefront. And then Saturday and Sunday, I'm thinking about 9 p.m., but it might be 7 until I start getting like mad busy. In fact, once I get mad busy, it's definitely going to be 9. All right. I know I am. I don't think everyone else is. There are some teachers in here. Okay. So you're getting your GED in math. What is hard? Yes. Yep. So if anything, reach out. Let's see what we can do to get you situated. At school. Yeah, I'm not at school. Not anymore. I do my own online tutoring business. That's all I do. Yep. I can't go back into the classroom. Not like I can't. I just don't want to go back into the classroom. Because all that hypertension and stress that I was having, it was from all the stuff that I had to do in the classroom. And they always say, Just do it for the children. You know how many times I want to backhand somebody every time they're like, just do it for the children. Why don't you just do it for the children? Oh, wait, you're too busy driving away in your Benz so you can be like, oh, let me go into my beach house this weekend. Shut your hole. Yeah, that was internal. Sorry. But yes, so if you guys need any assistance, GED, ASVAB, TEAS test, especially like if you're trying to get the entrance level, if you're thinking about being an elementary or maybe even a middle school teacher, if you need help with the praxis because you haven't seen a lot of this stuff in a while, please reach out. Don't wait until the 11th hour and you're like expecting a miracle. No, be proactive. Okay, be proactive. I'd rather you say, hey, let's meet each other like once a week versus I need to see you like 28 days or I need to see you for like the whole 24 hours, like the day before a test. No, we're not doing that cramming stuff. Alrighty. It's a safe space. It's hard. I'm telling you, a lot of people keep thinking that teaching is easy. And I love how they just treat teachers so poorly. But yet there's a lot of people that want to be teachers because there's a lot of people that need some assistance. But if all the teachers just all of a sudden became independent contractors, man, education would be so much different. But people can pick their own teachers. Like they can pick who they want instead of like dealing with the teacher that's just there to collect the paycheck, which the paycheck is not all that cracked up to be, which is hilarious. Yeah, go overseas? Nah, I've heard so many horror stories. So many horror stories. And these are from like awesome people that are very friendly, but they went to the C word. To the sea continent. For 15 years, you retired early. Yep. Volunteering at the school has shown me a different side. Oh, yes, Jess. Oh, yes. They're like, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. I'll just give you one afternoon. It will convert you to be like, what do you want me? It's almost like that lady did the meme. She's like, teacher, what do you want? You want a mat? You want some crayons? You want a gift card? You want a coffee maker? I'll do anything. She's like, you need a new car? It'll take me a minute, but I'll get it for you. Because she's like, you handling our badass kids. So it was hilarious. You're going to make money if you go in another country. I mean, if I go to another country or another county. Because the county... And a lot of people always want to go to private schools. Guys, private schools don't have money. Private schools have a lot of special ed kids, special needs kids that, you know, ADD, ADHD, and they just need some guidance. But yeah, nah. Country, okay, thank you. Yeah, but sometimes it's not about the money, you know? I mean, yes, I want money to feel comfortable and be able to keep my home and all this stuff. But sometimes the treatments, it's different. And I know education in other countries is just awesome. You know, the kids can actually leave campus to go and have lunch. They can go to a beach and have lunch and just be able to rejuvenate and play. And they always encourage play. And I love that. I know, we got it so backwards. So backwards. And everything's going to get turned upside down soon. If not this coming school year, it'll be, I think, January. I think that's what the Project 2025 was saying. Because he's going right through it as a checklist, if you guys haven't noticed it. So if you're wondering what's happening next, just go to the website for the Project 2025 and you'll see what's going on for next. But I'm not saying that our education system does not need an uplift. It does. Oh, it really does. Because they're just like grabbing whatever the cheapest resource is and just chucking it at our kids and just saying, all right, why can't y'all do this? You should know this by now. No, it's something called a pandemic. We're still recovering from that. And then we have some schools that are teaching a full year of algebra in a semester. Yeah, make sure you check your kids' schedules and take a look to see if that class is a full year class or a semester long, okay? Especially if you're in the states of Massachusetts. They're doing that. Some states in Florida. Like I'm saying, you're having the whole year. Like first semester is Algebra 1 and then second semester is Geometry. Yeah, no. So definitely check your kids' schedules. Yeah. It's like, nope. Oh, that's why a lot of people are doing summer school. Some of my soul friends on TikTok are doing summer school too. Best way to earn as math teachers. There isn't. Unless you get out of education altogether. Unless you do like architecture or you do any other money-based finances, calculation type thing. That's the only way you can make money. You can do tutoring, but you have to have patience and the right mindset. If you keep thinking like, oh, I got to do lesson plans like for every kid, you're not going to make it because that's not tutoring. That is tuition. Completely different from tutoring. Okay. Oh. How'd you do? Alice, how'd you think you did? I'll take. They're getting rid of. Yep, they are. Yes, they're getting rid of a lot of stuff, period. A lot of stuff. Goes too well in education. Yep. I'm going to pass, but I won't know what's going until next week. Okay. Okay. Have faith. Have faith. You're probably, oh, this is great. I'm seeing this stuff, and I needed this. You know? But here's the thing. If, for some reason, if you don't pass it, here's the thing. That test does not define you. Just go and take it again. Sign up for the next one. My suggestion is always like, if you still remember it because you took it today. So since you took it today, did you write down what you saw on that test? I would like write every little thing that I've seen on that test. So just like, oh yeah, I remember seeing a question like this and that was really confusing. And then you can ask me if you want how to break it on down, just in case you have to retake it. All right. Hey, Alicia. Oh my gosh. Was it distress? Okay. I'm glad that everything's fine. Was it the stress that kind of pushed you over? You were like, oh no. I got passed, but I won't know. Okay. Yes, Jess, definitely. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, if anything, you always know where I'm at. You know I'm going to be up relatively late. Well, probably not tonight, but you know where I'm at if you need anything. Okay? Because that knowledge doesn't go away, you know? See if you can sign up for the next one. Let me know when you're doing that. And then we'll do the review thing like we did last night, early this morning. And we'll just put ourselves in a better mindset and just take it. You know, you got that. All right. Good. All right, everyone. Thank you. I know you're trying to get to 50. If I get to come back in 10 days, I can finish the test without making me fail. Oh, awesome. Perfect. Definitely perfect. Okay, as long as you're clear from the doctor. Yeah. Yeah, because, you know, they're very particular. They don't want anybody. Okay. Perfect. See if you can go in there before 10 days. When do you go back to see the doctors? Okay. All right. Awesome. Okay. So call him tomorrow. See when as soon as I can set up an appointment. All right. Awesome. Okay. All right. So if we ever need to just do a quick refresher, just let me know. Okay. Yeah, because early August is not going to be slammed, so you'll still be good to go with me. As I say that now, after I got 2 to 3 new people this morning. It's been a busy morning. Okay, awesome. All right, so I know you're shooting for it. There's like 49 people here. They're like, if everyone does a man tab, is this live mainly algebra and algebra 2? For the most part, yes. If you want anything that's like calculus, sometimes I put a little trig in there, and sometimes I put a little geometry in here. Now, I'm not saying that I don't want to do calculus. It's just not my jam. But there is a friend of mine, Robert. He does calculus. So if you want to follow him, I think it's called the AP Math Guy. It's like Robert, the AP Math Guy. If you just look them up. And his tutoring place is called Main Street Tutors. Okay. All right, everyone. All right, Mad Tap, 2K, we can do it. There's 56 of us. 58, it's growing. 59. So, again, if you want to get your copy, hey, back to school is right around the corner. So, let's help to get our kids organize their books. Maybe you're taking a course and you need a little bit of guidance. You can go ahead with the guidance, and then plus you got these resources in the back that can help you out. So if you're not strong with your multiplication, which you need to be, okay, you have this factor sheets from 1 to 200, and then also some other elements that will help you, just as a reminder. So I did release one book for just pre-algebra and algebra 1, which also can be used for college algebra as well. So a lot of your resources are going to be heavily on the basic plus a little bit of algebra 1. And I'm currently working on the algebra 2 workbook so I can have more advanced stuff in the back to help with the algebra 2 / pre-calculus. Okay, so it'll be like resources that you guys are really going to use. All right. Yay, we did it. That is perfectly fine, guys. This is awesome. All right. Oh, and also there will be a left-handed version. So for all my lefties out there, I got you. All right. Okay, everyone. Have a lovely evening. Thank you so much for stopping by. I will be back here at 9:30, God willing. 9:30 tomorrow evening. Not sure what exactly I'm going to be teaching, but it will be something. All right. So I will see you guys tomorrow evening. Have a lovely rest of your evening and just stay safe and continue to be awesome. Don't let anyone try to steal your shine. You guys are doing amazing work. I just want to break that math barrier so the world can really see your greatness and see all the things that you can do, because you can do hard things. Okay? You are doing hard things, and you're advancing at it, which is awesome. All right? Okay, have a great night. Thank you so much for the love. I greatly appreciate that. All right. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. So, have a good night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right. Bye now.